I want to start by adding my thanks to all of you for your time this afternoon and for joining this expression of solidarity with the children, women and men of Kyiv, of Mariupol, of Sumy, of Kherson, of Odessa and of all Ukraine. It is 1 month today since Russian forces rolled into Ukraine, kicking off an illegal invasion and a horrific war that has united the people of Ukraine, the people of Ireland, and all the peoples of Europe in a determination to say no to aggression and to resist attacks on our democracies and threats to our self-determination and sovereignty. For as President Volodymyr Zelensky has repeatedly said, the attack on Ukraine is an attack on democracy across Europe, an attack on all of us. As Seamus has said, this is a concept we fully understand and endorse as trade unionists. For us, an injury to one is the concern of all. The peoples of Ireland and all Europe have been inspired by the principled and courageous resistance of the Ukrainian people and by your determination to get Russia out of your country. We support peace, but it must be a just peace built on respect for democracy, self-determination and human rights. That's why Congress is clear that Russian troops are unwelcome in Ukraine and they must clear out. And friends, our solidarity amounts to more than just words of concern, sympathy and admiration for the strength and conduct of your struggle. That's why we have added our voices to calls for a strong and united European and global action against Russia for as long as this illegal adventure continues. Our solidarity is also practical in nature. Last week, Congress launched an initiative to encourage workers in Ireland to donate 1 hour's worth of their pay to humanitarian support for Ukraine and for employers to match it. Yesterday, my own organisation, Fórsa, announced that we have raised €500,000 from union members, activists and branches. Money that is going to the Irish Red Cross and the International Trade Union Confederation Solidarity Fund to support humanitarian efforts on the ground. I'm sure that the Congress initiative will be greeted with the same tremendous response we saw from Fórsa members, which in turn echoes the deep feelings of support for the Ukrainian people coming from all walks of Irish society. It's humbling to see such a magnificent display of solidarity from ordinary working people as we remember those who have died, those who are grieving, and those who have lost everything because of this terrible war. This is also reflected in the determination of public servants, airport workers, port staff and others who are pulling out the stops to help and welcome refugees from the war, and also in response, the magnificent public response to the call to welcome and house them here in Ireland. I hope and believe that this response can be a model for Ireland's future treatment of refugees and asylum seekers, regardless of what country or continent they set out from before they reach our shores. Over the last few weeks, many comparisons have been made between the present conflict and the Second World War. All I would say is this: let's be sure that, because of our actions in the coming weeks and months, we'll be able to look back at this crisis in future years and say that our response proudly reflected our values of solidarity, democracy, unity and self-determination. Because we will have showed solidarity with Ukraine and its people, because we stood for a just peace and worked to stop the war and bring an end to the horrific violence inflicted on the people of Ukraine.
What about the oil and gas?
because we showed solidarity with all workers and communities impacted by Putin's illegal action, including those in Russia itself. And finally, because we welcomed and supported the refugees forced to come to us in their hour of dire need. Friends, thank you. Slava Ukraini!
Thank you, Kevin.